Hi, everyone. It is Thursday, the 5th of February. This is the makeup lecture for HSP100, class number 10. We're making up this lecture because we had a snow day, and because everybody doesn't want to have to come in on a Saturday, I thought I would just go ahead and put this lecture online for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, tweet me, or talk to me directly during class. I like talking about the event management sector of the hospitality industry for a couple of reasons. One, this has a tremendous financial impact, not just directly, but also indirectly. When we talk about hospitality businesses, particularly in a place like Chicago, yes, we do cater a lot to tourists that come to Chicago to see the sights, the attractions, go to baseball games, go to festivals. But really what makes Chicago a top destination when we look at it in comparison to other cities is the meeting and event industry. And the statistics up here, while they're not specific to Chicago, what they really do is they frame kind of the overall financial impact that the meeting and event sector of the hospitality industry has on the economy. 1/4 of all air travel, 1/3 of all hotel income or revenue that we generate, 2.4 million jobs, $240 billion towards the economy, and so on. The meeting and event industry in this country is absolutely integral to the success of revenue generation. It's absolutely integral to the success of our economy. And if in terms of going into a career in hospitality, this is a very, very safe and secure industry that can provide a very rewarding career. But a common misconception that people have is really what the meeting and event industry is. What does that mean? Some people think, oh, well, it's just weddings or it's just big conferences or conventions. And in actuality, the meeting and event industry really is lots of different things. And there isn't necessarily a right or a wrong type of event or a better event or a not so good event. There's just a lot of diversity. But the universal, there are some generalizable attributes across the board when we start talking about different types of events. For example, conventions are a special type of meeting, and a meeting being anything that we do to bring people together for a common purpose is traditionally something that's large. We might have it down at a convention center like McCormick Place. But then we have things like conferences, and what conferences traditionally are is not necessarily, while we're still bringing together people for a common purpose, they usually have a business or educational purpose to them. There is not a trade show component. We'll talk about trade shows more in a couple minutes. But when we think about conferences, what we're really thinking about is they're professional in nature. Conventions are meetings that bring people together for a common purpose, but don't necessarily have a business or educational purpose. Expositions or trade shows, while they are just like conferences and conventions where we bring people together for a common purpose and we bring people together for professional reasons, what we really try to do at a trade show or an exposition is bring people together to have commercial transactions occur. So something like the auto show here in Chicago or the National Restaurant Show. We bring people to a particular location. A company tries to showcase their product with the hope that that leads to transactions. Then we have all kinds of events. We have weddings, we have big events, we have small events. Fortune 500 companies like Coca-Cola and Walmart need to have events where they bring together shareholders and other people associated with the company. So what the meeting and event industry is it's an extremely complex industry in the things that we offer, but it can also be a very rewarding industry for people who want to go into hospitality. Just like with food service, we have people that are directly related, directly employed for conferences and conventions, and they put them together. But then we also have these ancillary businesses, if you will. Just like in food service where we have distribution companies, we have ancillary businesses that are really designed to help meetings and events function. For example, suppliers or buyers, people that supply the materials, the FFE, the furnitures, fixtures, and the equipment, the people that set up and break down these events, all the people involved in the event really are part of the event management industry. One of the nice things about the meeting and event industry is that it's very, very well respected and very, very well represented in the hospitality industry. We have a variety of professional organizations, whether it's PCMA, one of the more popular ones that we see in the hospitality industry, and we have a chapter here in Chicago, is an organization called MPI, Meeting Professionals International. They're one of the leading international organizations for meeting planners. And really what they do is they provide a professional association for people who have similar interests related to the planning and execution of meetings and events. There's also a lot of opportunities for students to get scholarships, internships, jobs through MPI, Meeting Professionals International. But again, Meeting Professionals International is not the only meeting and event association out there. We also have organizations like PCMA. We have lots of different types of meetings that exist. We have corporate meetings, we have association meetings, we have government meetings, civic group, religious organizations. There isn't a right or a wrong type of meeting category. There's just different categories. And each of these organizations, when they plan meetings, have very different requirements. Quite often, associations are planning meetings to conduct association business, don't have very large budgets. Really, when they plan meetings or conferences, this is designed to get people to register, and a lot of the revenue that's generated through that is really what keeps the associations up and running. We have corporate meetings to conduct business, whether it's shareholder meetings, whether it's training sessions. Government agencies, of course, have meetings. Religious organizations have meetings. So we have lots of different types of organizations that will actually go out and conduct meetings. And a lot of students, when they go and they major in event management or meetings and events for their focus, whether in school, might not go work for a hotel. They might not go work for a convention center like McCormick Place. A lot of students might go work for a corporation. They might go work for an association. They might go work for a religious organization and help them plan meetings. That's what's so great about the meeting and event industry, is that there are so many different opportunities for people to have a very, very rewarding career. One of the common ways that we lump people together with types of meetings is what's called the SMRF model, or the SMRF acronym. And this helps us really determine who the customers are for the meetings that we plan in this segment of the hospitality industry. You see the acronym right there that SMRF spells: social, military, educational, religious, fraternal organizations. It's just a common way that we refer to the types of people that might be having a meeting at our particular venue. One of the more popular things that we see, and one of the more common types of meetings that we see, and if you decide that you want to go do a meetings and events in the hotel industry, this is really what you're going to come across: this idea of corporate meetings. And really what corporate meetings are is they are organizations, they are companies who, for whatever reason, need to bring together clients or employees of that company to plan events. They might be designed to engage employees in new initiatives, new product rollouts. They might be designed to improve the corporate culture, so team building exercises or whatever it might be. Corporate meetings are a very, very big part of what we do in the meeting and event industry. And if you're going to go work for a hotel, quite often, in addition to weddings and special occasions events, a lot of what you're going to come across are corporate meetings. Those meetings could, again, take on a variety of feels and sizes. They could be small, they could be large, they could be educational in nature, they could be product introductions. For example, if a car company is unveiling a new line of automobiles, they might have a corporate meeting and bring in their employees and their clients to actually showcase this. Again, there's not a right or a wrong type of corporate meeting. What I want you to take away from these last couple slides is that there are just different types of corporate meetings that exist. A lot of you will, if you decide that meeting and events is what you want to do, you're actually going to go into the meeting planning function. You might actually be, whether it's a catering manager, an event manager, a meetings manager. The titles are almost as endless as the opportunities. But really, some of the generalizable skills that we look for, and if we had to look at job descriptions of people that are actually event planners, what are some of the things that they do? Well, what's some people really find rewarding about the meeting and event industry is that you coordinate every single detail of the event, from the moment of site selection by the client to the moment of planning, execution, determining what the theme, determining what the look is. Maybe you go out and choose speakers, and then entertainment, help in the menu planning, help in the registration. When the event's actually occurring, you're there. But it also doesn't stop there. It actually goes after the event has occurred. The meeting planner's involved. So for some people, they really like the idea of the event industry because it allows them to see a project from its infancy all the way through to its completion. And that can be a very, very rewarding experience for people. If we go and we start to look at this in chronological order about what the meeting planning process looks like, one of the very first things that clients are going to do, and if you're, let's say you're a meeting planner for an association, one of the very first things you're going to do if you've been tasked with planning a meeting is what we kind of call the site inspection, and you begin to look at different places where you might want to have your event. Prospective meeting sites, that might be hotels, that might be convention and conference centers. Lots of things go into play here: cost, time of year, availability of space, what the attendees of the conference are going to want to experience while they're there. Will people in January want to go someplace warm, or they want to go someplace cold? All these things come about when we're talking about selecting a prospective meeting site. Once we've kind of decided of where we want to have the meeting in terms of city, let's say Chicago, we go ahead and we as the meeting planner put out what's called an RFP, a request for proposal. And essentially what we're asking for with this RFP is we're asking people to give us a proposal about what an event would look like if we had it at their venue. So for example, put yourself in the shoes of an association meeting planner. You want to have a meeting one time a year. It's a 3-day event in a major city that's got speakers, it's got a trade show component, it's got a gala dinner, and you decide that you want to have that in Chicago. So what you're going to do is you're going to send out what's called an RFP, and you might send out that RFP to 10 or 15 hotels here in the city of Chicago. You're going to give them some general criteria of your event. You're going to talk to them about what your space requirements are. You might even give them some details on what your budget is. And the hotels will come back and they will say, we would like to have your event at our hotel or at our conference center or at our convention center. Here is our proposal for what that might look like. And that could be a very, very important process. That really what the hotels and what the venues are trying to do is they're trying to convince the meeting planner to come have their event at the particular location.